Hey guys, welcome back to the build log. Thank you for joining me again. We are back up at the Gold Coast and we are going to be here for the next 5 days building my Sling TSi. Today we're going to go through and it's going to be a really big focus on windscreen, so getting the windscreen fully fastened and secured. We're going to spend a little bit of time with Joseph today, who's the new avionics technician here at Global Aviation, just seeing what he does on a daily basis, and plenty of other stuff that we're going to go through. Hope you enjoy.
Moment, we've got the sticks in temporary, but I can feel that that's a little bit higher, so as soon as we rivet that in, it'll be tight, and by the time you get those sticks joined together, you'll feel it. So it's just in and out, plenty of times to test fit everything.
Yep. And today, so windscreen.
Yeah, we'll rivet this top section on permanently, and then cut the windscreen, get that ready to go. We probably won't put that in until after it's painted.
Yep.
But we'll have it all ready. The only thing to go in behind there is the ECU.
Yep.
So we'll do that. And then see how far we can get on the cowlings, and yeah, anything else on the outside that we need to get painted.
The morning's work revolved around completing a number of tasks that we'd started the previous visit. We started on the control sticks, and this is again where James really shines. Being a great pilot himself and flying many hours with slings, he knows what the control inputs should feel like, and he really put my mind at ease. So when you're installing the control rods, what are you kind of looking for?
So because there's so many moving parts, if any of them's tight or they're all a little bit tight, it'll add up. So that's feeling pretty good, but we'll have to, once we bolt the back on, we'll know for sure.
Yep.
It should almost fall on its own like that.
Yep.
But that one's still a bit tight because it's at the front there, it's falling in on it.
Yep. So again, it's just a lot of little adjustments.
Yeah, and the same with the elevator ones. We've got that one in and all the push rods to the back, and if it all adds up if something's not right.
Yep.
It's worth spending the time now to get it perfect. Close to flush.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, cool.
Still a little bit of resistance on that. Yeah, that's freed up now that we've taken the clicker down.
Okay. So take a little bit more off.
Just so it goes down further.
Yep.
That's better.
Yep. Joseph, it's you're working on part of my panel here.
Correct.
How's it? What do we got going on?
So what I'm doing today is wiring up the pilot and co-pilot microphone and headphone wiring.
Yeah.
Intercom. And this is basically the center loom. So you get your autopilots are on there, pilot and co-pilot sticks, your 4 passengers. So pilot, co-pilot, passenger 1, passenger 2, pitch autopilot at the back, and then your rear bulkhead wiring, which goes to the tail nav lights.
Okay. How long does something like this take?
It can be done in about a week.
Yep.
So depending on experience, sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it doesn't.
Yep, perfect. And now you've been going for roughly about, what, 6 to 8 weeks?
I think this is week 6.
Yeah, perfect. And used to come from Rex, right?
Correct. So did my apprenticeship at Jetstar, and then the last 12 years at Rex.
Cool. And how are you finding working here?
Different.
Yeah, different.
It's obviously a lot different to the airline industry.
Yep.
The people are good to work with. Being a new airframe, I'm still learning a lot. But Errol's a good teacher. The other guys are good to work with.
Yep.
So I've learnt. It's been a massive learning curve the last month.
Yep.
And now I'm feeling a lot more confident compared to day one, obviously.
Yeah. And pretty exciting. You're starting to work on my plane now, which is exciting for me as well.
Yeah.
And so I guess, being in the experimental class, it's a little bit different to what you're used to as well.
Yeah, the regulation side of it's a lot different.
Yep.
Different things that I have to get my head around as well.
Yep.
But no, it's good.
Cool. And what have been some of the challenges that you've had since you started?
Learning the airframe, that's been a big challenge.
Yep.
Just trying to work out where things need to go to.
Yeah.
Like anything, once you get a bit more experience, you get faster on it.
Yep.
And yeah, just the airframe and engine has been my biggest challenges.
Yeah. All right. So today, did I hear that this is looking like it's getting pretty close to going in?
Yeah. So this one I'm actually just starting. The other one that I've just finished will be going in your aircraft.
Okay.
I'll actually take it over there to show you how it works.
My God. How do you make... What I see from this is, to do a job like this, Joseph, you obviously have to be incredibly organised and very methodical.
Yeah, which is why I'm trying to make it more organised for everyone that I do.
Yeah. Okay, so they're the main connectors.
Yeah, so get rid of all of my stuff. So this starts just at your instrument panel.
Okay.
And runs down. So this bit that I'm running now just runs down from the centre, just forward or just after the instrument panel.
Yep.
And then that one there goes off to your autopilot's roll servo.
Okay, yep.
These two are your pilot and co-pilot sticks.
This is so good to look at now, just because we're working on it.
That one there's your flaps.
Flaps there, yeah.
So then you've got pilot and co-pilot headphones, which is that one, no, that one, and that one. Two of the connectors are your left and right wings. And then it goes on to up ears.
Okay, so the left and right wings are going to include things like obviously lights, yep, pitot heat, landing lights, yeah, wow, look at that. So every wire individually wrapped and named. And then, sorry mate, yeah, down this end.
So down this end, this is your passenger microphones and headphones.
Yep.
And then on this side, you've also got your pitch servo, autopilot pitch servo.
Autopilot pitch servo there.
And then auxiliary power for these two.
Yeah. So, Joseph, silly question, right? So, where do you start? So, when you put all this together, so this is a week's worth of work, right?
Yeah.
So, where do you physically start? Do you start at the head of the units, or do you work backwards?
So you start at those connectors. If I just remove this, I'll show you the one I'm about to start.
Yep.
Yeah, so with that last harness, what I do is highlight the wires in yellow when they're installed, and then go over them with the darker colour when they're tested and continuity tested.
Yep.
But in terms of starting, which is where I'm up to now, I get this drawing, and on this end, avionics panel, there'll be P1, P2 and P3, which is these connectors. And then it's just a matter of working out which wires you want to start with and start at number one and go from there.
Yep. Yeah, and it's that methodical. So you're basically going through there, labelling all the wires.
Yeah, so these two wires I had pre-cut from the first harness.
Yep.
And if you go across to here,
yep,
that is passenger headphones 1 and 2.
Yep.
So I go to this drawing, passenger headphones 1 and 2. They go from P3, across to passenger headphones, which is down the end there.
All the way down the end, yep. Perfect. So this eventually will become that.
Yeah. In 2 to 3 days, it'll look like that.
Yeah, wow. That's awesome, mate.
So the harness that I'm doing is that one.
Yeah.
And the harness that Errol is doing is that one.
Yeah, so I think that's a really important difference there. So in terms of the avionics, you're concentrating more on the centerpiece, which is just confirming there, Joseph, basically from here back, is that right?
Basically instrument panel to passenger seats.
Instrument panel to passenger seats, okay. And then Errol is basically doing everything in front. So
correct.
Engine.
Instrument panel and engine.
Engine, perfect. So there's two production lines going on here.
Yeah. Yeah, so the two tables over there are the instrument panel side.
Yeah.
And the table that I'm working on is centrifuge.
Yeah, perfect.
You see those black connectors there? Black and white and black and white?
Yep.
Those two are literally the two that plugs into our connector.
Yep.
So our connector...
Is that what you call the HEC connector?
The HIC.
The HIC
Yeah,
connector.
that's the HIC connector.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so you've got your EFIS. You've got your two HIC connectors.
Yep.
And then our two connectors that comes from the instrument panel plugged into those two HIC connectors. And then that's your engine interface. So now the engine can literally speak to the instrument panel, to the GA, to the garments, and all of that happens via those two connectors.
Yep.
Okay. And then this three connectors that's up here, that's where our instrument panel are going to plug into. And that is the loom that's down there. So that goes to the engine and it goes to the back of the aircraft. So that's the whole thing. So yeah.
Next came our final preparation of the top skin. So important to make sure we get this right to ensure the join between that and the engine cowl is perfect. So previously we didn't have the large dimple, did we?
Yeah.
You were saying you've done all that now.
Yeah, so there's that piece in between to space it out.
Yep.
So we've got that in there, and that makes up the thickness for the cowling.
Yeah, nice.
So which we've started test fitting those.
Yep. So I'll rip all them out and then start riveting them up.
Yeah. One at a time, because you have to. There's 4 pieces together, so you have to try and keep those tight.
Yep. Yep.
Or something like that just to protect it. And squeeze that in.
Yeah, okay. Before fitting the top skin, we had plenty of work to do, with a heap of work around the forward fuselage top skin. A familiar process here, just constant checking and rechecking to ensure the contour was right and a perfect fit. Any imperfections show through the paint.
Let's do it here. Shoot out.
With the forward fuselage top skin now complete, it was time to move on to the top skin. This was again another task that we'd started on the previous visit. Here I'm countersinking the pre-drilled holes ready for assembly. This right here might look just like another part of the fuselage, but in the Sling TSi, this area is absolutely critical. It's where the upper cowl meets the fuselage, and getting this seam perfect matters big time. Why? Well, it's not just about looks, it's also about aerodynamics, engine cooling, and access in the future. A misaligned cowl here can cause downstream issues like drag, mess with engine airflow, or even maintenance nightmares down the track. And with a Rotax 916 up front, cooling efficiency is everything. So yeah, spending a little bit of time here isn't perfectionism, it's performance insurance, and also obviously the aesthetics of making sure the paint looks great.
Just want to see how thick it needs to be.
Yep.
A little bit thicker than that actually.
Yeah, okay. So basically what we're doing here is we're just putting some spacers in underneath the skin just to get it nice and level.
But it's not just about the meat. It's about good old-fashioned service and a passion that gets them up bright and early, 7 days a week. Bermuda Butchery, still pursuing excellence. Still, your local butcher. Celebrating 30 years on the go.
With 50% off Rexona. Like Rexona antiperspirant spray 220ml 475 each. RTA, you can't fit local.
With the top skin done, it was now over onto the windscreen, or as I like to call it, the bug shield for future adventures. This is one of the jobs that makes you feel like you're giving your plane a face for the very first time. And another one of those little milestones that we tick off as we go along in this build. Without the windscreen, you'd be flying with a face full of wind and rain. So let's get into it.
You have to trim that down the size, so it's about that much all the way around.
Yeah.
Because as you trim it there, the top will change. So you have to do it bit by bit.
So I would imagine there is a fair bit of work in getting this prepped.
areas and you want to spend the time on it, it's easy to cut too much off.
Yeah. So what's the process from here? So how do we get the measurements right? And
step one, I'm pretty well getting it in the centre, so it's the same overhanging, the same all the way.
Yeah.
And we'll trim it down a little bit just to get. Here it's way too high. It's about that far away from where it needs to be.
Yep.
So as that drops down, it'll make a big difference at the top. I'll pull that away, and then we'll trim it back to about there, and it'll drop down into the hole.
Yep.
And we'll just continue down.
Yep.
And you can see through it, so we can mask or draw a line on there, and then cut that.
So it's just going to be a series of cuts to get it in place.
Yeah,
and
tedious process.
Yep. Yep. So sort of step one, we're going to cut around the base to try and drop it in.
Yeah, get at least half of that off.
Yep.
And that'll get it up off this step here.
Yeah, and then just give us some something to work with from there.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I don't know if you can see it on the video, but we've got a lot to cut off here. It's very much unlike what the skins were like. We've got a lot of play here, so kind of putting it on here, it's pretty hard to actually work with at the moment. So we just need to do that initial cut, and then we'll go from there to try and make it a little bit more exact. James was saying that if this was his plane, it'd probably take him about a month to get the windscreen right. So he's
with that practice. And like you press the back windows and the door windows are already fitted.
Yeah, okay.
So we don't have to do that.
Yep. Yep, so for those watching, this will be our least exact cut. This just gives us a little bit of an opportunity to start working with the windscreen. This is obviously our cut line.
Very precise.
Guideline.
Yeah, still a long way off, eh?
Yeah, it's like to come down a little bit now. I'm just going to try and do that.
Oh, okay, so a very punchy dog.
Kind of like a little Marlin Dice tea.
Definitely.
And you're on the money, mate. I don't reckon it's gonna.
It's close.
Yeah. I reckon don't overthink it.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. It's easier to do a lot of small cuts than one
Yep.
big one.
It's on now. Deep sheds, small sheds, storage sheds, and workshop sheds. The earlier you get in, the more you save. So that's June 10. T's apply. Bestsheds.com.au.
No, you
So the mic's on there now, so every time we put it back on, we can just go back to the same point.
Yep. So we're starting to get a little bit more serious with centre line marks.
Yeah, so that drops in there now. Still needs a little bit more power. I'll mark that now. That looks close, well, and we'll get the exact gap later for the glue. Off the top. Drop in the place.
Yeah.
Where a police officer has been shot dead in Tasmania. It happened.
That's dropping down into the groove now.
So I kind of just wanted to show in those first few clips, just to show you what the process was like in a repetitive nature, just to give you a bit of an understanding of what that windscreen fitting was like. Also to note, I'm pretty sure James wouldn't mind me mentioning, but this was his third window install. So I would say that his process will take a little bit of time to bed in, and he'll get better and better with every windscreen. I'd say he was probably being super cautious with my windscreen, which is completely understandable. And ultimately, which you will see eventually, is a windscreen that fits really, really nicely on my plane. Once again though, with these clips now sped up, you can see the amount of times that windscreen's coming on and coming off again. The amount of times that we're spending just tweaking the windscreen microns at a time to get a great fit.
Yeah, I just want to get going through the cutting. I don't want to get covered in dust tomorrow as well.
Yeah, fair enough.
We're closed. So how many windscreens have you done?
Probably only 3 or 4.
So this has probably been your best one though, right?
Big job each time. Yeah.
So look at him. He's covered in dust.
That's black.
Yeah. And yeah, we were trying to get it done by the end of the day today to not get covered again tomorrow, but unfortunately it looks like we'll probably get a little bit more dust around, but pretty bloody good effort, and we're very close. So that's probably taken what, 4 hours?
Yeah, pretty much just after lunch we started it.
Yeah, very, very close.
And we'll get it all ready, and we won't glue it in until after it's painted.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, perfect. It's awesome.
Australia's fastest selling plant stem cell skincare that is redefining what real skincare does.
Yeah, so that is the end of day number, I'm going to go day number 10. So today it was a lot of the internal work, so finishing off those control rods, which was good, and a lot of little stuff on the inside. We obviously also made sure those skins, so those front skins, were all riveted on, and then basically from there on in, today's been, well, as you just heard, the last little part, the last 4 hours has all been about that windscreen. So with any luck, probably an hour into that tomorrow, and we'll be all sweet there. Beautiful day here, and got through a fair bit, which I'm pretty thankful. Cheers, guys.